On a lonely hill far from the kingdom, a man dug his own grave with trembling hands. Not because he was a murderer, not because he was a thief, but because one night, after too much local brew, his tongue became heavier than his wisdom. This is the story of Kayizi, the man who died because he could not keep a king's secret. Long ago, in a mighty kingdom surrounded by thick forests and endless hills, there lived a powerful king named King Luwangula. Though feared by enemies and respected by his people, the king carried a terrible secret. Every night, strange scales appeared on his skin. His body burned like fire, and dark spots spread across his chest and face. The royal healers tried everything: roots, prayers, sacrifices, but nothing worked. Soon, whispers filled the palace. The king is cursed. The ancestors are angry. The throne is doomed. Fearing shame and the collapse of his kingdom, King Luwangula secretly left the palace one cold night and journeyed deep into the forbidden forest where a feared witch doctor lived. The witch doctor was an old man with white eyes and bones hanging around his neck. Smoke filled his tiny heart. I know why you have come here, the old man said before the king even spoke. These herbs will heal you. You won't. But listen carefully. From this moment until you reach the palace, speak to no one. If anyone sees you or speaks to you, warn them never to reveal meeting you. If they ever speak of it, they must die. Only then will the healing work. The king trembled, but agreed. As dawn approached, the king hurried back toward the kingdom, wearing a cloak to hide himself. But near a village path, he encountered a hunter named Kayizi, carrying an antelope on his shoulders. Kayizi recognized the king immediately.
My lord, what are you doing alone in the forest?
The king panicked. He pulled Kayizi aside and whispered, "What you saw today must never be spoken of. I'm fighting for my life and for this kingdom. If you reveal this secret, terrible things will happen." Kayizi knelt down and said, "My king, my lips are sealed forever." To reward his loyalty, the king later gave Kayizi a mile of fertile land near the river. Months passed, the king's skin healed completely. His strength returned, and the kingdom rejoiced. Nobody knew what had happened. Then one season after harvest, the king organized a grand feast for all his subjects. Drums echoed through the kingdom, goats were roasted, pots of local brew flowed endlessly. Kayizi attended the feast proudly. At first, he sat quietly, but after drinking too much local brew, his head became heavy and his tongue loose. Suddenly, he stood up before the entire crowd and laughed loudly. "My king! My king!" he shouted. The music stopped. Everyone turned toward him. Kayizi staggered forward.
"It is I, your servant, your secret keeper. You know very well that day I found you in the bush. Though I still don't know where you are coming from. Up now, it remains my secret.
Silence swallowed the celebration. The king's face darkened instantly. The royal guards grabbed Kayizi before he could speak another word. The people were confused, but the king remembered the witch doctor's warning. That night, the council gathered in the palace. Some ministers begged for mercy. He was drunk. He protected the secret for many months, but others feared the curse would return if the warning was ignored. The king sat quietly, and he didn't say anything. The next morning, the king gathered the elders, warriors, and villagers beneath the great fig tree at the royal courtyard. Silence covered the kingdom as Kayizi was brought forward in chains. The king stood slowly and spoke with a heavy voice. Kayizi was once a loyal man. I trusted him with a secret that carried the life of a throne and the safety of the kingdom. But a secret kept in the mouth of a drunk man is already buried in the ground. The crowd remained silent. Some elders begged for mercy because Kayizi had protected the secret for many months. But the king remembered the warning of the witch doctor in the forest. Finally, the king gave his judgment. Kayizi would be taken to a lonely hill far from the villages, where no drums could be heard and no visitors would come. There, he would dig his own grave with his own hands. When they reached the hill, the royal guards gave him a hoe and pointed to the hard earth. Dig, they commanded. Day after day, Kayizi dug beneath the burning sun. The guards gave him only calabashes of a strong lock brew to drink, but no food to eat. At first, Kayizi laughed drunkenly and sang songs. But as the day passed, his body grew weak. His voice became thin. His hands shook as he continued digging the grave deeper and deeper. One evening, as the red sun disappeared behind the hills, Kayizi fell beside the grave he had dug himself. With his final breath, he whispered,
My tongue has buried me.
The guards pulled and covered him in the very grave he had prepared with his own hands. When the king heard the news, he remained silent for a long time before saying, A secret is lighter than a feather, but once released, it crushes the man who carried it. From that day onward, parents and elders across the kingdom warned their children, guard your tongue, especially when the brew begins to speak for you. And the story of Kayizi, the king's secret keeper, lived on for generations around firesides across the kingdom. Thank you for joining us. But before I let you go, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video. Remember, a careless tongue can destroy a faithful heart, and the mouth that cannot keep secrets invites its own destruction.